Trooper Proctor faced a lot of scrutiny about conflict of interest, about how he handled the evidence, about lewd messages and the horrible words that he used to describe the defendant in this case. Let's bring in my guest to discuss. Joining us now, National Trial Attorney Michael Jaafar. Michael, good to have you on. This is my first time speaking to you about the deadlocked jury and the Allen charge that the judge read to them earlier in the day. Your thoughts on where we are in deliberations?
I'm not surprised. Clearly, the jury did not believe or buy the conspiracy hoax. I'm glad they didn't. I agree with them. Clearly, there's some jurors in there that are not agreeing with the other jurors, but they did not believe it. You know, Julia, let me give you my theory of the case just briefly. I think Karen Reed is the arch villain in the John O'Keefe story. Okay, here's the way that we got to this point. The whole conspiracy cover-up thing, that does not come from an attorney, right? An attorney has to be sold on this by their client, not just convinced, not just suggested. You don't walk into a lawyer's office and say, I killed somebody, help me cover it up. And he says, we're gonna go with conspiracy on this one. An attorney knows that they can only bring up conspiracy and cover-up one time in their career, and they better be right, otherwise their credibility is destroyed. So Karen Reed had to sell her attorneys on this theory. Why did she do it? Let's look at the facts and the evidence. It's undisputed, and I think the jurors are in that box are talking about it. When she showed up at the scene of the crime at the time of the crime, what do we know about that incident? She was blitz drunk, not only at that time, but the day after. Right? She was severely drunk. So had she, let's say she hit John O'Keefe unintentionally by accident, a man that she claims she was merely dating, she did not love, they were not in love, right? What would have happened if she would have called the police? They would have the ambulance. They would have showed up. She was so severely drunk, and she knew that at the time, that if he died, she wouldn't have been charged with a misdemeanor. She would have been charged with felony murder. She would have went to jail for a very long time. She could not take that in, so she drove home, hoped for the best. When he didn't show up, she started concocting her cover-up and her scheme, and that's where, in my opinion, she came up with the whole conspiracy cover-up thing. And only a narcissist would throw shade and put a whole entire community into chaos over them covering up for themselves, right? So in my opinion, the evidence shows that Karen Reed was there. She, intentionally or not, hit John O'Keefe, and he died, and she began the whole conspiracy thing. And when the defense took the case, they only took it for 2 days. They did not bring up a single witness that verified the conspiracy and the cover-up, or did they point a finger at any other legitimate person that could have actually killed John O'Keefe? What are we supposed to believe? That the Alberts killed John O'Keefe and then covered it up and put his phone in his pocket and started calling it a bunch of times, pretending that they were looking for him, and that they took charge of the broken taillight and put it next to his body? I mean, this whole thing is ludicrous. I think that's why you see this jury know that we are hopelessly deadlocked, right?